Hello and welcome to the 2021 Summer Iowa Games Preview Show. I'm Rod Bodholt. After an abbreviated 2020 Iowa Games due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Iowa Games is excited to be back. We will be joined on today's show by former Iowa Hawkeye and NFL quarterback Chuck Long, who is the CEO and executive director of the Iowa Sports Foundation. Chuck will give us a preview of the 2021 Summer Iowa Games presented by Grinnell Mutual. 1987 was the first ever year for the Iowa Games held by the Iowa Sports Foundation. Then there were 7,000 athletes taking part in 16 sports. This year, the Iowa Games now proud to offer more than 50 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. And this summer, we will celebrate sports, competition, passion, and athletes from all corners of the state. It's become a summertime tradition in Iowa, and one that all Iowans can be proud of. When we return, we'll learn more about the Summer Iowa Games.
Every sunrise offers new opportunities to dream big or to take that next small step. Every sunrise is another chance to build on the one before or to start with a clean slate. Because every sunrise is tomorrow's promise made real. And Grinnell Mutual is tomorrow's promise protected. Trust in tomorrow and contact a Grinnell Mutual agent today.
Gold. It's not an accessory or a trophy. It's a chase that pushes limits. This is your why. Why you polish and perfect and rise above fear to be gold. This is the State Games of America. Go for the gold.
The Summer Iowa Games Preview Show. I am joined now by Iowa Sports Foundation CEO and Executive Director Chuck Long, who will give us more insight into the Summer Iowa Games. Chuck, you and your team have been excited to get this year going again, to get back in the swing of things for the Summer Iowa Games. Tell us a little more.
Yeah, thanks, Rod. It's going to be a great summer after a tough pandemic year. Last year, we're full go this year and with protocols in place, but we're excited. And the Summer Iowa Games continue to be a tradition for many of Iowa's amateur athletes. The games used to be one weekend in the summer, but this year we will have events taking place in May, June, July, and August. Our three main weekends are in July, with the first weekend being July 10 and 11, followed by the weekend of July 23rd to 25th. And our third and final weekend is the main weekend of July 29 to August 1. Events will be held in Ames, Des Moines, and the surrounding communities, and we are excited to get it going again.
Amazing. There's always a lot going on during the Iowa Games. One of the reasons the games continue to grow is that you've had the ability to keep those traditional sports, but there's always something new that will attract the new participants. What's on your agenda for this year?
Well, the Iowa Games will offer over 50 sports as in the past, and we anticipate hosting 12,000 athletes. Our largest team sport is soccer, always has been, and individual sports are bowling along with track and field. The sport that was added in recent years is the Big Fish Classic, which was held May 16th at Rathbun Lake. So we just had that, but it's May 16th, but we're excited about the Big Fish Classic and the growth of that in the future.
That's awesome. It's always interesting to see what the new sports are, but I know it's been difficult to add new sports with the pandemic. Can you talk a little more about that?
Yes, it's been a challenge, no question about it. But we had to put a halt on adding new events. Cornhole was originally going to be added, but we are excited to officially introduce it to the Iowa Games this year. So you'll see cornhole as a new game this year. Again, we had to put a halt on some, but we're going to add cornhole. We already added the Big Fish Classic. So again, we're moving forward, trying to do what we can and adding sports.
See that in a lot of tailgate lots in the fall for football games. There ought to be plenty of people who are qualified to play that game. So there's another chance for you to enter the Iowa games and get involved. Chuck, thanks for your time. I know we're going to talk with you throughout the show, so we'll let you go right now and take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk to Iowa Games Director Katie Kramer. Stay with us.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest. So you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Welcome back to the Iowa Games Preview Show. If you've ever seen a full list of all of the events that happen throughout the Iowa Games, you might wonder how in the world it all gets organized. Well, we're joined now by Iowa Games Director Katie Kramer, who plays a major role in keeping the games running smoothly. Katie, how do you do it? How do you and your team keep this large event running smoothly and successfully?
You know, it just takes a lot of communication. Obviously, that's key in planning. You know, we really plan well over a year out for the event. And of course, our volunteers, we couldn't do what we do without our volunteers with everything. And especially over the last year, we've had to be very flexible, you know, in what we do and kind of hanging on to things and making the planning all the way that it goes. The majority of our events were canceled last year, obviously, because of COVID. So really, we haven't done a lot of this planning for about 2 years. So it's kind of getting our feet wet a little bit, jumping right back in, but we're excited to be busy and gearing up for the games again. I know our staff missed it, our participants missed it. So we're excited for that. We were supposed to be hosting our national event this year, State Games of America, but because of COVID, we pushed that back. Most states had to cancel their games. So it kind of impacted qualifying and all that stuff. So that's now in 2022. So we kept our dates for that event. So our main weekend is actually the last weekend in July this year. So it's set up a little bit different. We had all of our dates and venues already secured for that. So we just kind of kept it and figured it'd be a good trial run for us for this year to get our feet wet for SGA and see how that goes for us. So we're excited for it though.
That's cool. On the main weekend of the Iowa Games, which as you mentioned is the last weekend this summer, how many venues are utilized? There's stuff going on all over the place. You guys are everywhere, aren't you?
Yeah, we're all over town. We're on campus, we're on the outskirts of town, we're everywhere. I would say roughly on the main weekend, we'll have about 25 venues being used in Ames alone. We'll have events in the Des Moines area and surrounding communities too, but again, mostly in Ames. And like I said earlier, we are using more venues on our main weekend just because we're trying to pile more sports on that main weekend than what we normally would to kind of prepare for that SGA event that we talked about. But yeah, it's still a lot. It'll be a good challenge for us. So we're excited.
This has to be extra special for you as not only a former Iowa Games athlete, but you grew up in Ames. How have you seen the games grow and what's it like to be involved in that process?
It's really fun. It's always been a staple event in the state. Growing up, I was a softball player. I played basketball. I was kind of in my softball basketball zone, but now being on this side and seeing what it really brings to the state, and having fencers, billiards players, a whole bunch of other people coming in. It really kind of opens it up, for everyone and gives us a different perspective on stuff. And same with our key volunteers, we get those coming back every year. And it continues to be a great tradition for everyone in the state. We continue to make adjustments for sports every year, whether it be adding divisions or changing the format, adding new sports. Registration numbers this year look really, really good, actually. So we're pretty excited about that. Especially coming out of the pandemic, we're excited ourselves to get going with things, but I think participants are rearing to get going for the event. So
you mentioned just a little bit ago the State Games of America, and I know Iowa Games medalists this year have the opportunity to qualify for those State Games of America, an event that's held every 2 years. And I understand participants will have an opportunity to qualify again this summer for next year's games, which will be held in Ames and Des Moines. Tell us a little more about this event and that process and the opportunity for people who compete in the Iowa Games.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's an event that happens every 2 years. And like I said, we were supposed to have it this year, but it got pushed to 2022. So really, we've been planning this event for roughly 4 years now. So we're, excited to, we're kind of where we stopped last year. So we're excited to keep moving with that. But it's really cool. It's an event, all Iowans are eligible to compete. So Iowans don't have to qualify, but out-of-state athletes do. And so they have to place first, second, or third in their event at their state games to come compete. So we'll probably add roughly 4,000 to 6,000 out-of-state athletes on that year on top of our normal 12,000. So, it's going to be an exciting time here in Ames. Those events are going to be in Ames, Des Moines, Ankeny. We have to utilize those areas as well, to make sure we have all the venues and stuff. So we're excited. Like I said, we've been talking about it for 4 years. So we're excited to actually, keep moving forward. Registration for that will open September 1 of this year. So that's a little bit different for us. So we're getting all that ready as well, while also putting on our summer games here.
All good information. Katie, thanks for filling us in on all that happens and all that goes on to keep things on track and briefing us on the State Games of America as well. Good luck with everything this summer.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We're going to take a break right now. We will be back to highlight Iowa Games athlete and Drake Relays champion Mackenzie Carney right after this.
Change is in the air. It may seem a little scary from where you're sitting, but here at Iowa State, change looks like an amazing opportunity to change the things that need changing, to make the world better for everyone, more sustainable, more just. There are students like you and students very different from you who have the same desire to learn from each other and prepare themselves to remake the world. I'll be ready. Will you?
We are.
We are so much more
Than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
Job creators.
friends and neighbors.
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy
Behind your everyday.
And we are
Obsessively.
relentlessly.
At your service.
Gold. It's not an accessory or a trophy. It's a chase that pushes limits. This is your why. Why you polish and perfect and rise above fear to be gold. This is the State Games of America. Go for the gold.
Welcome back to the Iowa Games Preview Show. We are joined now by Mackenzie Carney, Waukee track star and Iowa Games athlete. Mackenzie, thank you for joining us and congratulations on your recent success at the Drake Relays.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a great success that you had there, and you've been an Iowa Games athlete since the age of 5. Tell us a little bit about how the Iowa Games competitions got started for you and how they've helped you in your training and your success at the high school level.
Well, I've been running the Iowa Games every summer, as you know, so it's just helped me get prepared for the competition at the high school level and the competition season. It's given me great race experience by competing against good competition from around the whole state. And that opportunity has allowed me to try all different types of events that enhance my training and my passion for the sport as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. In a recent interview, you talked a little bit about an injury that you had in 8th grade where you broke your collarbone. What significance does that experience play in your training today?
It plays a huge significance in it. It taught me to just overcome adversity and anything that's just thrown at my way. So I had to trust the process when that all happened and learn how to just be patient and just trust my training and myself and my goals. It taught me how to deal with any setbacks that I go through during the season. So mentally, I just couldn't let myself be afraid of the hurdles after that. So definitely coming back stronger mentally was a huge part of that.
That's a great perspective to have. What is maybe your most memorable moment competing in the Iowa Games? I know you've had a lot of things to consider as top options, but what are some of the things that are most memorable?
I definitely do have a lot. I always do the Iowa games with a lot of my good friends. So definitely like putting together a fun relay every year with them. I just remember that every year. And then I'm just like, I've met so many of my good friends in the Iowa games that I see all the times at meets or like at the state meets when they live like across the state or something. So that's definitely, yeah, huge memories that I'll never forget.
And for a lot of people, that's what the Iowa Games is all about, those types of memories. So I want to thank you, Mackenzie, for joining us, and best of luck in your future track and field career.
Thank you so much.
You bet. We're going to take a break right now. And after these highlights, Chuck Long, CEO and Executive Director of the Iowa Sports Foundation, will be back with us to tell us how you can get involved with the 2021 Summer Iowa Games presented by Grinnell Mutual. Welcome back to the Iowa Games preview show. Chuck Long joins us again. And Chuck, with all these sports and events happening, the one thing people really need to know is how can they get involved? How do individuals and teams sign up to participate for the Iowa Games?
Well, it's really easy, Rod. Our main registration process is through our website, www.iowagames.org. That's www.iowagames.org. And participants can find sport information, entry fees, deadlines, and online registration. Pretty easy process.
Good information. And we'll remind you again throughout the show how you can get involved. So get a pen and paper, be ready, because we want you to be part of the Summer Iowa Games. Coming up next on the Iowa Games preview show, we'll take a look at all the modifications made to safely hold the opening ceremony. Stay with us.
How would you describe shopping for a new car? Shop miserable? Shop frustrated? At Smart Honda, shopping for a new car is simple. The entire purchase can be done online from the comfort of your own home. We'll even deliver your new vehicle right to your door, so you never step foot inside the dealership. And every new Honda comes with our Smart Price Guarantee. Can't get much simpler than that. Visit smarthonda.com.
What do you gotta do to get the best value? Get smart.
I'm passionate about making a difference in my patients' lives.
We are the only place in Iowa that can do what we do because of the tools we have and the experts we have in all the different fields.
We see the toughest cases, so we are always innovating.
All of us at the institution are working literally with every waking hour and how to make these patients' lives better. Patients come from all over the world to see specialists in their care.
That's what keeps me going, knowing we can make a difference every day.
Welcome back to the Iowa Games preview show. Chuck Long with us again. And Chuck, I understand the Athlete Jamboree unfortunately had to be canceled for this year, and the opening ceremony will be held virtually. Get a chance to feature Simon Estes, world-renowned opera singer, and Iowa State head football coach Matt Campbell will be part of the process as well. Chuck, let's talk a little more about these events and what the opening ceremony will look like.
Yeah, it's good to have Simon and Matt on board with us this year. It'd be nice to hear from them. But one of the positives of hosting the opening ceremony virtually is the ability to have access to individuals that we wouldn't have if we had the opening ceremony live. So that is a plus for having it virtually. We're fortunate to have the great individuals join us this year, as I mentioned, and Simon and Matt as well.
Chuck, people are used to filing into Jack Trice Stadium on that Friday evening to watch this event in person. How can they see it virtually? We want to make sure people don't miss it. Where will they be able to watch the Iowa Games opening ceremony?
This year's event will be broadcast via the Iowa Games Facebook page on Friday, July 30th at 7 p.m. That's Friday, July 30th at 7 p.m. on the Iowa Games Facebook page.
So get tuned into Facebook on that Friday evening at 7 o'clock and get your popcorn ready and watch the Iowa Games opening ceremony. Chuck, thank you for that information. Good luck with the big weekend.
Thank you, Ron. It's going to be a great.
You bet. We're going to take a break and we'll return after these Iowa Games highlights to speak with Kylie Brandt, Iowa Games Assistant Sports Director. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Iowa Games preview show, and we welcome Kylie Brandt to the show. Kylie, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Kylie, you've been with the Iowa Games for a little over a year now, but obviously this will officially be your first full summer Iowa Games. Tell us what you are most looking forward to about the games this year.
Yeah, so like you said, this is going to be my first summer games, despite being involved with the organization for almost a couple of years now. But I'm excited to get a chance to finally run some events. I've had the perspective of an athlete as a former participant in the event, but I'm really excited to be able to put on the event and get a chance to see it from the administrator's side. It'll definitely be a different scope. And at the end of the day, this is an event that people are excited about, and I'm excited to be able to help bring that to them.
Absolutely. Soccer is one of your main priorities for the Summer Iowa Games. Why do you think soccer continues to grow throughout the state and remains the top sport of the Iowa Games?
I think soccer at the grassroots level is huge. Our state does a great job of promoting it to kids from a young age, and the barriers to entry for the sport are super low. You know, these kids don't need a lot of equipment. You know, there's not a lot of facilities. So that's huge accessibility wise for them. But I think ourselves, we offer a unique tournament experience for a lot of these players, you know, something they haven't seen necessarily before, which I think is a huge draw. And one of the reasons our participants choose our tournament and continue to come back year after year.
Sure. Well, Kylie, thank you for joining us on the show today. Good luck with a full slate of Iowa Games coming up this summer.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You bet. We're going to take a break on the Iowa Games preview show. When we return, we'll tell you one more time how to get involved with the Iowa Games. Stay with us.
Every sunrise offers new opportunities to dream big or to take that next small step. Every sunrise is another chance to build on the one before or to start with a clean slate. Because every sunrise is tomorrow's promise made real. And Grinnell Mutual is tomorrow's promise protected. Trust in tomorrow and contact a Grinnell Mutual agent today.
You gotta feel it to believe it. Get Extreme Internet starting at $9.99 a month for 1 year. With fantastic speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig. Dynamic streaming video. So real, you can feel it. Amplified in-home Wi-Fi and all the power you need to power it all. Get Extreme Internet starting at $9.99 a month for 1 year. Call 844-EXTREME-5.
Welcome back to our Iowa Games preview show. Chuck Long with us again to tell us one more time how people can get involved with the Summer Iowa Games. Chuck?
Yeah, by registering for the Iowa Games through our website, iowagames.org. That's iowagames.org. Participants can easily find sport information, entry fees, and deadlines.
And Chuck, there's a lot of reasons for people to get involved. Maybe they want to compete individually. Maybe they've got a group of guys who want to get a team together with, or they challenge somebody else in the office. These are all reasons people might want to consider, right?
Oh, these are great events and challenges and sports. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's over 50 to choose from. Get on iowagames.org and there's a sport for you.
Very good. Chuck, when we return, we'll tell you how you can get involved even if you're not an athlete. Stay with us.
Every sunrise offers new opportunities to dream big or to take that next small step. Every sunrise is another chance to build on the one before or to start with a clean slate. Because every sunrise is tomorrow's promise made real. And Grinnell Mutual is tomorrow's promise protected. Trust in tomorrow and contact a Grinnell Mutual agent today.
Welcome back to the Iowa Games Preview Show. The Iowa Games is the perfect example of an event that would not be possible without volunteers. And Chuck, I know you can always use more. Tell us how people can get involved.
Well, the Summer Iowa Games has about 2,500 volunteers. Volunteers range from our sport commissioners, generic volunteers, and officials and referees. We are very fortunate to have the Ames Convention and Visitors Bureau recruit a lot of our volunteers. But there's also a way you can go to our iowagames.org page, and there's a volunteer tab. You can sign up there as well. But we have a number of volunteers who've been with us for a long time. We're really excited to have them back. We've missed them. We didn't have any games last year. We missed our volunteers and commissioners and officials and referees. So we're excited to have them back.
They are very important and a great way to be a part of the Summer Iowa Games. Let's take our final time out on the Iowa Games Preview Show. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Iowa Games Preview Show. As we wrap things up, just one more reminder that the games are coming up soon and will offer sports for all ages and abilities. This year, we will celebrate the tradition, sports, and athletes at the 2021 Summer Iowa Games presented by Grinnell Mutual. Visit iowagames.org for more information and register today. We'll see you at the Summer Iowa Games.